Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick. And down at the end of the table is Ryan Gerdes. Oh, he's always appreciative to be at the grown-ups table. Like, still Thanksgiving.
I'm still like in between parents here.
It's probably best that you're in the middle because, Mike and I might end up just,
Would be bad for both of your guys' necks. I can take it.
All right, you're going to want to text the word GOLD to 623-AZ-RECON. That's GOLD to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, we are wrapping up. Depending on when you listen to this podcast, it could have already been wrapped up, but out in France right now, it's the Olympics, Olympic mania. Are you guys into the Olympics? Have you guys been watching the Olympics, or do you guys just not give a rat's ass about the Olympics?
No, we've been watching quite a bit of it, and the only bummer is, what is it, like a 9-hour difference in time? So to watch anything is always on replay. So I already know the outcome before I'm watching it because I screw up, and curiosity gets the best of me, So. Watching Scotty Scheffler go over there and tear it up in the back nine. And you know what? I got much love for John Rahm. He's an ASU boy, but
he's not representing the U.S.
But at the end of the day, he's a Spaniard. Yep. And in the Olympics, we only know countries. So, the fact that he shat the bed and opened up a window for Scotty to get in there and do what he does best. And he has had just a hell of a year.
He has.
And so to throw a gold medal on top of it, I was so
what a
pumped
roller
for the
coaster
guy.
of a year.
Yeah.
But how about Snoop-a-Loop, D-O-double-G,
dude?
Snoop-a-Loop.
So have you seen those? So they're like RMOs in the military, but they have pins, and so they all have their own pins made, and then they trade pins, from different countries and different events and different whatevers. And so his pin is of him, and he's blowing smoke rings through a blunt.
Of course.
And the smoke rings are the Olympic rings.
Oh, that's perfect. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Good idea.
I have watched less than 60 seconds of the Olympics.
Oh, you terrible.
I don't know. I've made a deal with my wife, and I know that the Olympics would be an exception. My dad watched everything on ESPN. Everything, wiffle ball World Series tournaments, Little League, everything. And so he was always watching sports. And I just told my wife, I said, listen, I don't get into watching too many sports, and you're not going to see me addicted to too many sports, but NFL football, it's on like Donkey Kong. And so when the Olympics come around, I know I'm not a patriot, and more importantly, I'm a poor dad because my kids don't care about the Olympics. That's where I've really failed, but I'm just not really interested.
I don't really give a shit about Winter Olympics. Like I don't really watch Winter Olympics.
I'd rather watch winter than summer.
Summer.
My wife's all about summer Olympics. She's all about it, so it's great for us. The whole family sits on the couch, watches TV. My youngest are asking questions, and my daughter's trying to do gymnastics on the floor. And, it's giving her encouragement on what she's doing and showing her how the best do it. Mm-hmm. And, made her really proud to be a U.S. citizen, too, and watch that.
Yeah. And, we watch a lot of – my son plays volleyball.
Right.
And so we do watch a lot of men's indoor volleyball. Not a whole lot of beach, but, not that I'm opposed to it. Moral of the story is it's going to be wrapped up by the time this airs because I know that they played this morning, but I'm intentionally didn't look at the outcome because we're going to watch it this evening. But they're they beat Brazil in the semifinals or in the quarterfinals. And so now they played Poland this morning in the semifinals, and so I'm excited to see that. But America hasn't had a great volleyball team for a long, long time, and so having them show up in Paris has been pretty cool. So my son and I get to bond and talk about that. That's cool.
What if we could go back in time and we were at the beginning of the Olympics and I could hand you 2 free tickets to one event. What's your favorite event, and what event would you want to attend?
Dude.
So I'm going to be selfless here and say gymnastics just because that was an all-around family favorite. I already know what you'd pick. You have to go to volleyball.
Yeah. We would go. We probably, because it's hard to anticipate, like with volleyball bracketing or how far they're going to make it. So I would want to go to the last game that they play,
Dude, mine all day long. I mean, and this is
with my son.
And I want to get into the stupid sports that the Olympics have now implemented, like 3-on-3 basketball. But if I had to choose one sport this round, I'd be going to the surfing competition down in the French Polynesian Islands. Oh, yeah. That's how I would be wanting to watch the Olympics.
Yeah, but their breaks are like a half mile off the beach. You can't even see him.
Do you think I really care?
He just wants to be at the beach.
He just wants to be in Tahiti.
He's not watching the Olympics.
and that's kind of unfair. Like how many countries can really put together a surfing team?
They figured it out, man. I mean, there's a lot of coastline in the world.
I don't know.
Any country that has a coast, they're gonna have surfers.
Is breakdancing an Olympic sport to you guys?
So I didn't even know that it was a thing until yesterday. I was watching.
I didn't know
they were talking about breakdancing.
Yeah,
but dude, those guys are. I mean, they're pretty
incredible.
Talented.
I'm sure.
Well, when you're the best at anything, like dude.
Yeah.
I am an incredibly talented at eating burgers, but that doesn't necessarily constitute because I excel at it.
Yeah, Kobayashi.
Or Kobayashi, we're not having a hot dog eating contest in the Olympics.
I'm just shocked and disappointed that they don't have baseball in the Olympics. There's so many countries that have really. I mean, and they're the players. Oh my gosh, some of these players are unbelievable baseball players, and they all come to the U.S. now. And
well, I'll give you a little history behind that. So the only Olympic sport that I've ever attended in person, and I was a kid, that was baseball, because baseball was in the Olympics for a short period of time, but then the World Baseball Organization, or whatever you want to call it, they pulled it out of the Olympics, and they do their own thing like every other year, and it's just a baseball classic. So it's like the Olympics. It's the full Olympic experience where all these countries are competing. They just took it out of the Olympics, and that wasn't an Olympic committee decision. That was baseball.
But they're not getting the energy that they can feed off all the other sports.
Sure.
So like
from being in the Olympics,
right? Because I mean, they could do cricket, they could do all kinds of different things. They could use the soccer field, they could use or football field.
Did you guys watch some of the girls in the rugby? I mean, they're
brutal.
I was like, I'd like to watch that.
Ripping each other.
Yeah, they were,
apart.
and there was just some angry women out there just running people over. Carrying people.
Yeah,
just carrying them down the field.
Them. Yeah.
All right, well, this is the Real Estate 401k show, believe it or not.
Yeah.
This is a real estate podcast. So if you're interested in learning anything about real estate in the great state of Arizona, investing in Arizona, and looking to build a strategy and a portfolio, all you got to do is text the word GOLD to 623-AZ-RECON. That's GOLD to 623-AZ-RECON. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, man. It's just like this whole, I'm not trying to make the Olympics political, and I'm definitely not making it political, but it reminds me of the political scene. We got to be all inclusive. Okay, 3-on-3 basketball is not an Olympic sport. I'm sorry.
No.
It's not. Breakdancing, is, in my opinion, is not an Olympic sport. But, we got to be all inclusive. Everybody that plays any kind of sport, we're going to make it an Olympic sport.
May as well make chess an Olympic sport.
I think it's kind of cool, though, my opinion, do it up. Do it up. It's once every 4 years. Do it up. If there's people that play it in majority of the countries or practice breakdancing, I'd like to see the best at the best at the best.
But you got now so many athletes. These athletes are having to bring in their own food into Olympic Village because did you know how much space? The more sports you add, the more athletes you add, the more space you've got to build and accommodate these athletes.
Oh yeah, I heard something. It was like $6 billion to build this place out for them. And did you see what they had to sleep on? It was basically like cardboard boxes that they had arranged. Yeah,
they're homeless camps.
But hey,
so I mean, but that's an interesting topic to kind of weave into the real estate element because it's going to be moving to LA.
I love you. Thank you so much for figuring out how to weave this into real estate. I could open mouth kiss you right now because I'm sitting here going, I don't know how to transition.
Is the economical impact that it has on Paris and what it's going to have in LA, and And does that affect other states too? And you know, kind of like the taxes and all the grants that get thrown in there, because it's not just the country, right, that's putting money towards it. It's the Olympic Committee. They put together a fund, and then they just have a huge injection of cash into that economy. And because what would you say it was $6 billion?
Yeah, something like that.
$6
$6 billion is what I heard.
So where does that $6 billion come from?
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure France doesn't just have $6 billion just to go, oh, let's just toss this in here. It's a collaborative effort from all the countries and from the Olympic Committee.
True, but I don't know what that percentage is, but I think a lot of it is on the host country, because remember, that's where
sure.
Mitt Romney came in and saved the day from Salt Lake City, for Salt Lake City when they had the Winter Olympics, because Salt Lake City was going broke and they didn't know how to operate this and they didn't know how to run it, and then Uncle Mitt comes in and he saves the day.
Yeah. So, I mean, L.A., it's already congested as hell.
Very.
What's the impacts on their real estate and their like their own GDP? Like
Well, they're going to have to build a
what
20-lane
happens?
highway.
Okay, well then let me really bring in the conversation topic, because the temptation is for real estate investors, for a lot of real estate investors. Okay, the Olympics are coming in. Okay, I am going to just make all kinds of money doing, getting in place, doing Airbnbs and things like that. And I think here in Arizona, we learned a valuable lesson a couple of years ago with the Super Bowl. Everybody thought that and is making an investment based on a major event worthwhile.
I'm going to say no. I would say that if the intent is to invest in like a REIT or something like Blackstone or something like that, that that they're going to be the primary contract for hospitality and housing, et cetera, whether it's a Hilton or whatever type of hotel that they own or restaurants that are going to be doing the catering, then I would say invest in one of those types of vehicles, if you will. But if you think that you're going to just clean up by owning a condo or a house that's somewhat close to Olympic Village, you better rethink your business model.
Yeah, because we learn a lot of people learned that again a couple years ago here in Phoenix, where and a lot of these people, they thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to make all of this money doing an Airbnb for the Super Bowl, and I forgot, because it's been so long ago, what percentage of these Airbnbs didn't even get rented out for the Super Bowl, much less get the income that they predicted. And then we saw like a huge surplus of Airbnbs coming into the market, and consequently, overall, and it's improving, but a lot of people aren't making as much money because of the inventory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that there was just so much saturation. Now, the one thing that LA does have going for them is they have a ton of laws restricting landlords and tenants, et cetera, and particularly in LA County, whereas in Maricopa County in Arizona, I mean, it was kind of the wild, wild west. And HOAs aren't as prevalent as they are in some areas there, and then on top of that, the statutory and the county restrictions. So they might have a little bit more opportunity than we had here, because I also think that not a lot of people are willing to go invest in the millions that it will take to buy a home where the barrier of entry here, you could buy a decent home for $500,000 where that would cost 1.5 there, and then all the tax ramifications are going to deter a lot of people from wanting to jump into the real estate game there. They're going to be weighing solely on appreciation, which they still do have good appreciation and all throughout California. I mean, the fact is they have an ocean and they have a lot of celebrity status, and so people do want to own real estate there. And for some reason or another, the more they spend, the happier they are.
All righty. Well, the Olympics will be in Los Angeles in 4 years, and fortunately for us, Ryan, and the reason why I wanted you to pick the sport that you wanted to go see and the sport that I want to go see, because the Frederick team at Fairway Independent Mortgage is sponsoring us in 4 years, and so let's start working on that, Justin. All righty. Well, at the end of the
Take
day,
him off the list for waste management.
Just those were his words.
Yeah,
you know?
Ryan, you're still good.
well, if you have hung out for the last 15 minutes, believe it or not, God bless you, but believe it or not, we are a real estate podcast, and we specialize in Arizona real estate, especially in the area of building wealth in real estate and building a real estate portfolio. And if you are interested in learning more, we would love to have that conversation with you. And if you went to the Olympics in France, just text us anyways, because we want to hear your stories. We'll put you on the air. We'll bring you in. I want to hear that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be great.
Hell yeah.
All you got to do is text the word GOLD to 623 AZ Recon. That's GOLD to 623 AZ Recon.